My loves, I hope that all of you are doing really well. Please ignore the background noise. I wanted to keep the ball rolling just for a little bit longer on that idea of exploring women who knew how to make a first impression and knew how to captivate the attention in the heart of a powerful man. We talked very briefly about Cleopatra before and how she captivated Mark Antony, and right now I want us to look at Hürrem or Alexandra and Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, I believe. Now, I'm mostly going to be looking at the TV series. In fairness, the TV series is based on a real character, but just to what extent they portray her accurately and all the little moments is questionable. But it's still it's believable. It would be something very interesting to explore. So, Alexandra was a Crimean woman. Her hometown was invaded and she was sold into slavery. And she found herself soon being in a harem as a concubine to Sultan Suleiman. Now, her family was murdered, her fiance was murdered, and she really, really loved them. And she's one of those girls who wasn't coming from survival, who wasn't saying, I'm still alive, I escaped, I still have me, I need to make sure that I manage to keep surviving. She was one of these girls who said, I don't want to live without them, without this great love in my life. Without my family in my life, what could life possibly offer me that would be worth me having gone through what I gone through and deciding to keep going? Eventually, she does have a dream, whether it's a night dream or whether it's a daydream, where she thinks that in order for all of that suffering and all of that pain to have been worth it, she needs to be able to truly leave an impact on the world, to find herself in a position of power, to change things for the better, and to become somebody meaningful, somebody of influence. And the difference that sets her apart from so many of the other girls that are in the harem isn't that she's more beautiful than them, that she's more sexually appealing than them, not even necessarily that she's more intelligent or feminine or any of that. The difference that sets her apart from the other girls is that she's desperate. She doesn't see outside of her dream value in her own life. She is willing to go the extra mile. She is willing to do what nobody else does in order to get results that nobody else gets. She is willing to take risks, to be courageous, to put herself out there, to play life as if it's a game and not as if it's precious, as if she's precious, as if survival is constantly a priority. So when she makes up her mind to go about things this way, she has a tremendous advantage over the other girls. And her tremendous advantage is that even though they're wonderful, even though they want the Sultan, they want to gain his favors, they want to progress, they want to gain his gifts, be chosen by him, they're all appealing in their own way. They're not willing to risk themselves. Ultimately, their priority, their main focus is themselves, which is very different for Alexandra, who has nothing to lose. She doesn't care. She decided that without a bigger purpose, her life doesn't matter. And what she is capable and willing of showing to the Sultan is that she's not just going to love him like all the other girls, she is going to love him more than her own life. And she doesn't show it to him with words. She doesn't just say that to him. She shows to him over and over again with the kind of actions that she takes, with the kind of risks that she takes, that he matters to her more than her own life. But she doesn't present it in such a way as, I'm desperate, I would like to use you to ascend to a position of power. She presents it in such a way as, my infatuation with you, my desire for you, my love for you, my obsession with you, my worship of you, my admiration of you is so strong that I'm constantly willing to do anything just to be by your side. Now, before we examine why this pick me girl strategy suddenly worked so well and why she really didn't have a choice, being somebody in a harem, to use that kind of pick me girl strategy or not, she couldn't, she couldn't act like his equal. She couldn't expect any kind of pursuit from him. She had no choice in reality. But she was finding herself in a harem, with a lot of other girls who wanted to be her eventually, who were jealous of her, were envious of her, were plotting against her, especially his wife. And his mother was for a long time helping his wife because she was the mother of his son. And that kind of resistance to their union actually taking place safely is what actually provided the necessary fuel in order for him to continuously protect her, to continuously make a mental and an emotional investment into her that allowed him to continue forming a more and more profound emotional attachment to this woman rather than getting tired of her and simply being able to walk away and find more interesting entertainment, more novel entertainment elsewhere. They tried to kill her, they beat her half to death, they tried to marry her off, they tried to stand in the way of their first night together, and all of these things they had to unite against, they had to act as a team against. And the reason they were so desperately trying to get in her way is because she was so desperate. It's because it was so clear that she is willing to go the extra mile, and she is way too quickly ascending to becoming one of his favorites. Now, I want us to actually look at the way that the TV series depicts their first encounter and how he chose her for the first night together, because I think it portrays in that excellent way her attitude of I am besotted around you, I cannot control myself around you, I love you more than my own life, but presented in such a way that it is enticing, it is not imposing, it is different, because he can have practically any woman. He has hundreds of girls in that palace, and they all offer him their bodies. They all offer him their praise. They all tell him what he wants to hear, but none of them are offering to him this courage, this unconditional love, this ability to say, first you, then my life. So again, let's take a look at when they line up the girls in the hallway as he's supposed to just pass by and not so much as give them a look, and this is the first time that they meet each other.
Sultan Süleyman!
Solimán.
Daye! Sümül! Bakın şuna nesi varmış.
Sus! Hünkârım. Arzu odasına gitmiyor muyuz?
Right, my love. So going back to the real woman that this is based on, I want to read this to you real quick. It says Hürrem Sultan was a slave that ascended to the position of the main wife of Sultan Solimán the Magnificent, breaking the tradition of the harem and establishing power and influence without precedence. Theirs was a love story that inspired him to write poetry, and although she wasn't in the modern sense of the word a public figure, the impact that she left on the Ottoman Empire was immense. All right, well, here's another story to teach us. And cheers, my loves. I wish you all a beautiful day.